All right, so I'm just getting my colors laid out. Because I'm going to do a little bit of pre-mixing. Probably don't have any more yellow. Oh yeah, cadmium-free yellow. Here we are. So I'm going to do a little pre-mixing of my colors. I think that'll help me out with this one. Where is got my palette knife here. So for, skin tones, I like to have a various number of different lighter skin tones. And it's not even skin tones, it's just colors. Like I'm mixing this like white color mixed with yellow ochre here, which will be useful. I'm going to grab some cadmium red light with some white. Have this nice pink tone here. All right. Then I'm going to get some cad yellow with some cad red. Mix up a nice orange tone. Almost like salmon color, which is a really nice color to have for the skin. Almost looks pretty similar to the one I just made, except I'm making it a little bit more yellow in it. So it's more on the orange side. And then most important color of them all in the face, I think, is a nice green color. So mixing up some yellow ochre with some ultramarine blue. Little cad red. A little bit more cad red. I want it to kind of be like a warmy green, deep green color. And then I'm also going to make a really, really light green color. Some yellow ochre, ultramarine blue. A little bit of cad yellow. Give it more of a punch. And that's going to be a nice green color right there. Moving forward, that's a good one to be in. That good one to have for the lights in the face. And then I'm just going to mix that regular old blue color here. Just some ultramarine and white. It's your average blue tone that'll help me out in some areas. All right. Trying to think of anything else I might need. I got a nice purple over here, so that'll be good. Got a nice like turquoisey color over here, which will be good later on. I'm gonna mix another color here, which is burnt sienna and ultramarine blue mixed together. Gonna make a nice black color. That'll be helpful when we're getting into it. I'll be doing this self-portrait from a mirror, so be able to see all those colors in the mirror. What else we got? That's a nice black color there. Maybe I'll mix a nice like neutral color. I don't really know what this color is over here, probably from an older painting, but I'm not really probably going to use that. So I'm going to go, grab some white, mix it with burnt sienna, which is a really nice color to have as well. So I might just leave that, and then grab some ultramarine blue, mix that in. Which will give us a nice kind of like neutral color over here. And I'm not leaving myself a lot of room to actually mix paint, so I'm gonna probably scrape off some of these colors like this one. Don't really need this kind of trash color here. This is always like the boring part that I don't really like doing, but man, does it pay off. You can just get some of these, just a few colors mixed up in the beginning, It really does pay off when you start painting. I already got paint all over my hands. All right. See, so we got some nice orange, pink salmon. We got that really bright green color there, which is nice. Got a nice dirty green color here. What I think I really need is a nice dark orange color, which I'm going to mix with some cad yellow. Oh, and yeah, this like nice rich red here will be nice too. We need those in like with some nice alizarin crimson and cadmium yellow. Yeah, that's a nice rich red color there. And then I'm going to try to get a dark yellow color with some cadmium and maybe some burnt sienna. Try to get some of those darker yellow colors, which I find in the face a lot. Yeah, that's some nice like real dark yellow and red right there. And then I'm going to try to mix a nice dark warm color. Let's see here, get some ultramarine. Add a little bit of alizarin crimson in there. A little bit of cad red. Just want it to be a nice, rich, dark red color. It's going to be nice for shadows and all kinds of things we're going to be able to use this color for. All right, so I got a nice dark, deep red here, nice orange, and then we got a nice red for like lips and nose area, ears sometimes. Got a nice pink for the cheeks, nice orange that is nice in some areas. I'm thinking I need a really, really bright yellow. That's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing. So I'm gonna go grab some of this cad yellow and possibly some more white here. This is flake white. We need some titanium white. So I'll grab some titanium white here. And let's see. Drop some paper towel. I'm gonna grab a big heaping pile of titanium white because I got a lot of yellow there. Because I want a lot of this like really, really hot yellow. I feel like it's gonna be important to have this color. It went a little bit crazy, but I'll use it. All right, so now that we've gotten these nice colors mixed here, that is going to be a nice place to start for some of these areas in the forehead and stuff like that. So I'm also going to get my camera set up for to go live on Instagram as well when I start the painting. I don't really have a way to record the palette yet on Instagram Live, so I figure I'd just get the recording of me just like mixing all the colors here, and then we can do the Instagram Live as well. And then I'll get to painting. Always feels better when you got the right colors mixed. I always feel better about the painting and how it's going to go. It's fun to like, mix colors beforehand, but I mean mix colors as you go, but third pass. I'll just write painting self-portrait. All right. Sweet. Got my camera set up for Instagram. Oops. All right, so now I'm going to start, working with these colors and painting the actual, I'm going to get started on the second layer here. I'm also live on YouTube right now. I just was on there like mixing my colors for this self-portrait. So I got all these, colors mixed up here, which is nice. And then I am about to start the third pass on this self-portrait from a mirror. So I think all these, I tried to do, work on this without pre-mixing the colors, and it felt all right, but I think that now that I'm getting onto the third layer, I think it's going to be nice to have just these nice, beautiful uh, pre-mixed colors to go in there and really lay some actual color down. Because then I can, I don't know, just like when you have those pure colors and you lay them down, it really like, comes off the canvas. So I have a lot of different rich darks mixed up and lights, varying values and stuff. I don't like overthink it though when I'm pre-mixing my colors. I just know that I need like a pink. I know I need like an orange. Um, I know I need some kind of purple color event like at some point. So, I just mix all these things in anticipation for what I will need. Now I'm starting to fill in some of these shadow areas a little bit more light. That's going to be nice to have this purple here to do that. Got some of this a little bit more like purpley colored here. And this is a bit of a slower process than the beginning of the painting, where everything kind of just rushes by. This part is a little bit more relaxed. And now that I've got the foundation down, it's much easier to get in there and refine things. Get a little bit of a highlight up here where the light's hitting. This pink color that I mixed and the really bright, this kind of color, this really bright yellow color here. It's really nice. Super nice to get that in there. I also mixed a nice, bright green color, which is very handy for some of these brighter areas where there's a lot of red in the face. It always feels like the light areas are quite green, whether they are or not. I kind of do it anyway because that's the impression I get when I look at it because of all the surrounding red. So this pass is just to more accurately get some colors. Yeah, just like more, taking more chances with the colors than just, I basically was just starting off with like burnt sienna and ultramarine blue for most of the painting. Now I'm getting in there and adding some real color. Not that those aren't real colors, but get a little bit more of a reflection on the nose. Which reminds me of a color that I didn't mix, which is fine. I don't know where my palette knife went, but I'm going to mix it with just a brush, I guess. But it's alizarin crimson and titanium white mixed together. Man, how did I forget that? That's like a really good for like cooler highlights, you know? Fucking up tonight. Yeah, like this nice, like pinky highlight color. Really bright pink, but it's not like a salmon pink. It's like a, it's like a cotton candy. I don't know. No, it's more like purpley pink. So it's got a little bit more blue in it. So that's really nice. I'm gonna even add more white into the mixture. I'm gonna go crazy and make it really bright. And kind of where do I see that? Oh, kind of like in the highlight of the nose and stuff like that. That's one reason why I came in here and mixed it, because I see a little bit of that in the highlight of the nose. Typically, if I just like have a general reaction and I'm like, okay, I see that color in that highlight, then I just go with my gut. I don't overthink it and be like, well, is that highlight purple? It's like, no, I'm just gonna mix a purple highlight because that's what it, that's what I'm feeling. I've never pre-mixed my colors beforehand, but I think I should start because mixing paint with my brush as I go is destroying my brushes. Yeah, my brushes are fucked, but it's nice to just have rough brushes sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it definitely saves the quality of your brush because all you're doing is kind of like dipping and then like painting, and you're not trying to like, you're not mixing with the brush. Plus, I feel like I waste a lot of paint when I mix as I go because um, I'm trying to mix like big pools of color and a bunch of it's getting stuck in the brush and I end up wiping it off anyway. So I like, I, I didn't used to pre-mix like that much at all, but now I've been doing it almost every time I paint, and it's been helping me out a lot. I really like it. So yeah, again, I don't know if anybody's interested, but if you want to watch me mix the colors as well and see what I'm doing on my palette, I am also on YouTube as Jeremy Lacilla Art. I'm live streaming right now as well. So I'm doing both of them simultaneously, as well as recording the stream to my computer so I can use it for stuff later, which I did not do for the first two ones of this. So I didn't have any foresight on that one. Because what I want to do is like, I'm recording it long format and I want to just like kind of like flip it up like this so that my head's up here and then my palette's down here for like shorts and things like that. So that's really easy to do in like After Effects or something like that. Oh, that's a nice little light on the shoulder there. I'm just going to round out this cheek a little bit more. Grabbing some of this salmon color. Ooh, that salmon color is nice. Real glad I mixed that. That is fucking exciting. I'm mixing some like this deeper red color with the salmon color that I have. Laying that next to it to get like a little bit more of a roundish area on the cheek. And I like this like dirty muddy color right here, so I'm probably gonna leave that. I like having those dirty muddy colors in the shadow sometimes, and then just having that rich, vibrant color in the lights. That's really exciting. This is like the part of the painting that really gets me excited, where I'm like finally getting into some of these more interesting color combinations and really getting in there and noodling it out. Got a little like vein there or something, crease in the side of the head. just a cooler, a little bit cooler there for the turn of the head. Brighten up the beard area here too. I don't really have a color mixed for that, but I think in this like green color with this orange color mixed together, with a little bit of this blue color, can kind of get something similar. I grabbed some of the actual real paint too and do some mixing, even when I pre-mix colors, because I'm not mixing like the exact color, so it's helpful. Yeah, look at that. I had a little nice hit on there. I love it when you get all the right colors in the base down, and then you just hit that highlight color, and it just it's like it's nasty, dude. Sick. Yep. Get a little bit more orange here. Get some of these greener tones down there too. I'm just taking some ultramarine, mixing it in with some of the pre-mixed colors that I got. It's a little bit of this nice, beautiful orange color. I always have like my go-to kind of colors. Sure, other painters are the same way. You just like gravitate to a certain color. In that chin. Introducing a little bit more skin tone in the chin. I feel like I can see it through the beard there. Just a smidge. So it's nice to mix in a little bit of that skin tone in there. And I went a little bright there, so I got a nice green mixed on my palette, and I'm mixing that with some deep red. Went a little bit too far here. Just go back and forth. A little bit of green, a little bit of red. Got some nice blue colors in there too, which would be nice to get in there. Just right here. Yeah. Just that little bit of blue there adds a nice contrast. Anyone else wish they could paint like John Singer Sargent? Yeah, for sure. I mean, it looks like the dude painted like really fast, like the way that his brush marks are. One of my painting teachers said that he would just like make a mask of the face, and then like if it was wrong, he just wipe it out, and then make another mask, and then wipe it out, and make another mask until he got it like right, and then he could just like lay in those quick brush marks, and that's what really makes it sing. It's like that confident brush mark making. Yeah, shit's crazy. Because if you paint it as fast as it looks, that's how I want to be able to paint that fast. Yeah, so I'm introducing some, dark blue colors, and then I'm going back in with some orange, and just kind of playing with you know, those vibrating colors where it's like those colors on the opposite end of the color wheel. So you put a little bit of orange down and you put a little bit of blue down, and they kind of like, have that like your eye doesn't know which one to look at, kind of thing. So I'm just introducing some nice blue colors down in the shadow area down here. Sweet. Yeah, premixing the colors is nice too because it keeps your, even if you have like contamination on your brush, like it doesn't matter because I mean, this brush is dirty as shit. When I put it in like the premixed color, it's just it's just like beautiful and bright. And then if I have a light enough touch, when I put it down, it stays nice and rich and vibrant. And it also picks up some of the color on the canvas, so it's just nice all around. Just nice. Yeah, and definitely like you mix like um I don't know, just I feel like it helps not waste paint too. May have already said that, but yeah, it's just like because I would find that I would have to go thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker just to get the that richness or that yeah the saturation and the richness that I wanted. Putting a little bit of a reflected light there. Oh, speaking about not wasting paint, it's like if I were when I mix these pre-mixed colors like this, I can reuse them the next day, you know? The piles don't get too messy. I can just go ahead and scoop them up into scrape them up into like a nice pile where and then just scrape off the excess where I mixed and then I got a nice fresh colors to work with tomorrow as well. Whereas like if I'm mixing as I go, like I did for the first two sessions of this painting, everything is just you can't reuse those colors. They're so thin. I'm like mixing them and they're just yeah, you can't I can't reuse them. Everything's like mud by the end of the time I'm painting, which I think is like fine in the beginning. It may not even be like worth it to paint to pre-mix like in the beginning stages because just trying to figure stuff out. But in these later stages, it's really nice to have these rich colors. You get some nice form building up, you know what I mean? But you know, I like thick paint too, so I'm not really like wasting is relative, you know what I mean? Because it gives it a nice effect and it looks cool. I'm all about it. Sweet. Wasting paint breaks my heart. It's almost unbelievable how expensive oil paint is. When my friends look through my tubes and see the price tags, their jaws hit the floor. Yeah, yeah. I tried to get paint in like the biggest tube that I can, so it'll last really long. And I also, you know, I think the pre-mixing helps. Um, but yeah, paint is expensive. Fuck, sure is. God damn it. You're not wrong about that. I try to, I don't know. I try to only buy paint like a few times a year, but shit runs out so fast, dude. I try to just load up what I need and then just try to coast it out. But yeah, painting with really thick paint and it's like surefire way to eat up your painting budget, which I like to paint with thick paint. So yeah, soften up that eyebrow. That looks pretty nice. Got some green tones here where the light meets the shadow. I'm just going to hit this little highlight here. Trying to intensify some areas more than I'm seeing because the lighting isn't that great in here. My painting instructor told me that the only paint that is wasted is the paint that is still in the tube. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, there's still paint that's on your palette sometimes that gets wasted. But I know I get what he's saying. But I like it better when I can use the paint the next day too, you know? So that just helps me do that. What is happening here? Kind of doing a little bit of drawing here because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. There we go. A little bit of figuring out. I just bought an anatomy course that I'm going to start taking. It's kind of take it at your leisure. It's like the videos are already, it's not like a real, like I said, it is a real course, but it's not like with a teacher and like in person. But I bought it online and I'm going to start doing that. Freshening up my anatomy skills. Forgot a lot of stuff since college, so it's good to revisit that stuff for sure. I do that with drawing a lot because you forget shit. You know? And I don't draw as much as I should. I just like paint a lot, so you know, there's a little bit of drawing and painting, but yeah, we're slowly scratching away at this. I don't like to rush the third layer because there's a lot of stuff that I like about the second layer that I don't want to lose. I don't want to just go ham and like paint on top of everything and want to leave some areas that I like, but just intensify and brighten up the colors on areas that I think need that. So that's a nice shape there. Grab some of this green color that I see like right here on the side of the face. Man, those green colors are important in the skin. I didn't see them when I go to museums and stuff. Nice green colors in the foreheads and above the eyebrows. I put a little bit of green over here too. In the hair. Like, what is that color like? Put a little bit of this green color here. Also, if anybody missed the first two sessions on this painting, where I started it there on my YouTube account at Jeremy Lucilla Art. That is my username. And the other two are on there. I'm still trying to work out like lighting and all that stuff, so the lighting kind of varies between video, but you get the idea. You can see like the progression from how I got to beginning stage to this. Kind of make that line disappear a little bit more. Yeah, I also like pre-mixing colors because I can when I'm you know just mixing colors on the fly, I really have to keep my brushes like separated. Like I cannot just use like my light brush for my dark brush and vice versa. I really have to keep them separated, which can be quite frustrating. So I like having the colors pre-mixed so that because I can just use my dark color and just like dip it in the light color and just go with the light touch and it still looks really light. So I like that. Right now I'm just scumbling over some of the darker areas, keeping them still thin, but making them have a little bit more opaqueness to them. Just darken this a little bit. That's a little bright for the dark side. Looks like it's a giant booger coming out of my nose. There we go. Yeah, tone that back a smidge. Put a little bit of green in there. Coming back in with some red for the beard. Hitting some of these darker areas, beard here. I mixed up a black and I'm just kind of getting some red in there as well. So the third layer is really nice to just hit those really dark darks and those really light lights. Get that separation. I'm gonna grab some more paper towel. Yeah, this is reading nice. I'm kind of like got up and got some paper towel and stepped back a little bit, squinting my eyes a little bit. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Got some detail in the eye, I think would be nice. I don't know why I avoid those areas for so long. It's such a delicate area, you know, the eyes. You get a little bit of more of a cast shadow here. Nice sharp edge there. The cast shadow is casting from the nose. Nostril in there. Sweet. What surface do you generally use? I like, let me see if I can find one. This one's got the stamp on it. You can see gesso board, ampersand gesso boards. They're like real thin, you know. And I like them. They got a nice smooth surface to them. And then this is on cardboard though. I'm just like I just gessoed some cardboard because I ran out of these boards. But yeah, just I love these boards. Be weird. I'd be weary about getting them any bigger than like this size, which is like I don't know what is this like 9 by 12, 8 by 10 maybe area because they kind of warp. I think if you get them too big, so maybe and then if I'm painting like a really big painting, I'll do canvas, you know. Or if I really got the money, I'll do linen. I think oil primed linen canvases are my shit. Like they are my favorite surface to work on, but they are like double the price of regular canvases, which is insane. Like what the hell? Why is that a thing? I mean, I get it. They're better quality canvases, but shit, man. But yeah, that's I bought one of those one time and I was like, "Oh boy, I better not I better not like this too much because this is crazy awesome." And then I like forgot about it. Like I need to forget about this because it's such a good surface to work on. So like oil primed linen canvases are like where it's at, but they're so damn expensive. I rarely buy them. I just try to get like a good quality canvas. Um, you know, I made the mistake of buying really cheap canvases one time from like Michaels or something, and like most of those paintings, like the oil's already like bleeding through the back of the canvas. So I'm just like, fucking goddamn it, that doesn't happen with nice canvases. So I've learned my lesson. I don't buy that anymore. But I also don't buy the really expensive ones like oil primed linen canvases. You know, I just get good quality um, canvases. I love all these colors and like the beard, all these like rich greens and reds. I enjoy smooth surfaces. I end up gessoing the fuck out of a regular canvas to achieve a smoother surface. I buy cheap canvases because I paint as a hobby, not for work. Yeah, um, that's one way to take care of those cheap canvases is like gesso the shit out of them. That was what I'm sure that if I would have done that, it would the oil wouldn't have bled through, but because they're just so thin, they're like so it's good to have that extra layer of gesso. So you were smart to do that. I'm curious when you say like a smooth surface and then you gesso the shit out of them. Do you like sand them down after to get the smooth surface, or do you like just make sure that the gesso is like brushed on there nice and smoothly, or to use like a palette knife to get that smoothness. I'm gonna grab some of this red that I mixed, this like nice deep red, and I'm gonna fucking hit this like edge here. Sometimes I like to do that. Adds like kind of a glow, and it adds like a nice transition from, you know, that background color to here. Sick. Oh, look at what I'm gonna try this. Let's see if it works. I'm just still trying to figure out what this highlight color is, because I think that there's something one step brighter than that yellow that I can muster up, which I think is going to be this nice pink alizarin color. Let's see if it works. Yeah, can't tell in the video, I don't think, of what color that is, but it works. It works in real life because we got like a nice purpley pink highlight here and a yellower highlight here, and they kind of just like play off of each other and give you that like shiny sensation. Put a little bit of more red in this area. A little bit more of this purple color, which I like to find in the face as well. Get that. That might be a little bit too much there. That nice, like where the skull is. I think that's the skull. Yeah, it's gotta be the skull. And then it comes down with that. Cool. Now I'm just kind of sculpting in to it, you know, finding little areas where I can enhance or whatever. Nice. I had one viewer at some point on YouTube for like 15 seconds. Killer. Gotta start somewhere, right? I don't sand, I use a puffy knife to drag across the surface. Oh, putty knife. For sure, putty knife. Yeah, it's that way it's real big and you just kind of slide it across, and then I would imagine it settles a little bit as well over time. All right, I'm gonna get this nice beard area here softened up, because the when I squint my eyes, like the beard almost blurs right into my face. So I want to get that idea across in the painting. I don't want it to be too sharp there. Really want to just soften it up. Yeah, something like that. Just keeping my brush strokes like a little bit irregular and blurry. Boom. And then this area over here is a little sharp, but I don't want to just blend these two edges together because that never looks correct. So I'm going to go in there with a little bit of like a reddy green color and hit the edge of that. It's probably more green than red, so let's try that. Just softening that up. All of these little subtle things like make a difference in the long run, I can assure you. It seemed unimportant at the time, but most of my self portraits look like this. because I'm like most of the time trying to uh, squint my eyes to simplify everything. So I end up having this like look on my face like I'm concerned or worried about something. I wonder if that's why a bunch of like old self-portraits are quite serious. Because it is like a common painting technique to like simplify stuff by squinting your eyes. It just makes everything look easier to paint. Because then you're just painting like you're not worried about the detail. You're like, okay, this shape over here needs to be like that, you know? And then just paint it in. Add a little bit of light up here. This part down here is a little bit more pink. I kind of just like put on colors until it kind of forms into something. And then if I put it down and it's too different to what's there, then I know I need to change it. If it doesn't like fit very well in. Awesome. Sitting in a different position so this painting is gone back here. But I'm gonna like soften the edges on that painting a slight bit. Keep it a little out of focus. And I think it's an optical illusion, but the this side right here where it hits the dark side of the face, the background, it appears like lighter, and then it kind of has like a vignette out to like a dark over here, and then up here it gets a little bit darker, and then down here it gets a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna try to see if I can't get that effect. I may hate it and I may want to go back just to the lighter background, but I think a slightly uh, darker version out here will like make the face pop a little bit more. So I want to try it out a little bit. Thank you guys for like sticking around and hanging out. I really enjoy doing these lives. It's gonna be they're like real fun. I like really look forward to just hanging out and painting and chatting every day. Yeah, there's not really a lot of people that watch them right now, so um, it's not really like doing anything for my channel growth. Uh, Not that that like matters, but I think that if I can, what I'm doing right now, where I'm like recording this, and then so I can still do these and have fun with these, and then I can record them at the same time, and then I can, you know, uh, take the recordings and flip them horizontal and make some like shorter reels out of them of just like snippets from the reel from the live that might help people as far as like I did, you know, I wish I would have recorded the one I did last night because I painted this ear and it was like just like a few brush strokes and got the point across and I feel like that would have been a nice little video to make and people could see like how you can paint an ear just with a few simple brush strokes, but I didn't have the foresight to do it. But yeah, so I kind of want to do stuff like that where I'm doing like more instructional, chopping these long form videos up into more like instructional videos where it taking like areas of sections where I like did something important. Yeah, so now I'm darkening the edges, kind of doing a little bit more of a vignette on there, which is adding a little bit of atmosphere. I love watching people paint and asking questions. It's not often I get to talk about art outside of the internet. You should join some like painting groups or something, or they have a lot of like figure drawing groups in some places. Those are always cool to do. Go and do some figure drawing. It's nice to talk to people about art and see what other people are doing, like what kind of materials they use and how they go about doing stuff. All right, now that I got it a little bit darker in the background, I'm going to take some of this green color that I have and hit the edges. You know, like here, and kind of go out a little bit. I really like to do this sort of thing. And I'm just varying the color a little bit, going more blue up here. But you know, you get like that undertone of dark. And if you start like where the lightest part of it is, like towards the face, and then you work your way out, you're getting darker as you go out because you have that undertone of darkness. So that's for a nice, interesting, like vignette effect. Which looks kind of natural because, you know, your eye plays a trick where here, where the dark side of the face is, right? When it meets the background, because this is so dark, this ends up looking bright. The color that's right next to it ends up looking bright, right? And then as it goes out here, it may even be the same value as this and the same color and everything, but because it's further away from the dark side of the face, it appears darker over here. And that's just like an optical illusion or like a trick of the eye that happens, but I like to put it in the painting um, and emphasize it in the painting so it looks so that, you know, because it looks cool. That happens a lot in like, you know, the beard area too. Like my beard isn't green, you know what I mean? But like because the beard, there's like so many red areas in the beard, like when you hit the hot, when the highlights get hit on there, they look green because of all the stuff around them. So it's very, it's fun to find stuff like that and emphasize it and bring it out. Same thing happens over here because we got some nice uh, dark areas over here. So this is going to look a little bit brighter over here. And I'll do some next to the painting as well. Bring it And this like nice blue-green color is fantastic for a background color because it really makes the rich orangey red colors pop out. Wasn't really planning on taking this any further. I kind of just started this self-portrait to test out my YouTube live stream setup, but you know, I don't really have anything else to paint right now. That I'm kind of like waiting for stuff to dry and ran out of boards and stuff. So whenever that happens, just like I just like use myself. Cool. This is an interesting work. It's like an interesting technique that I don't usually do. It's where it's like I started out really thin and such, and then I started out with really thin and really like simplified palette. It was almost just like burnt sienna and ultramarine, and then I kind of did that for a couple layers and pre-mix some colors on this layer. And I kind of like that approach. Right now I'm kind of just outlining the shirt with a little bit of red, which I like to do sometimes. Got a little bit weird there, so I'm gonna cut back into it a little bit. Didn't really need to be that red. But sometimes you get like this glowy edge where the skin meets things. So I like to put a little bit of that in there. Sometimes that happens in the ear area here, which I think I'm going to do on here. I have a smaller brush somewhere probably. Here we go. Now for this, I'm trying to wipe off the brush really, really good because I want this red color to be really rich. I also didn't have my Indian Yellow Deep, which I use a lot for this painting, so I wasn't able to get those like really rich yellows, really rich dark yellows, or transparent dark yellows. Yeah, there we go. Get some of that nice rich red in there. Overall, I think the ear is pretty much there. Might hit some red up here too. And I'm probably gonna hit some red in other areas too. There's always like a nice red in the eye here, corner of the eye. And then along the ridge of the nose too. Got some of these nice reds over here, but let's add one here. Not even sure if you can see all of these things in the camera, but it really adds a little something. Adds some sort of like some life to it. Put a little bit on this edge too. Right before it goes into the light. In the shadow, right before it goes into light, just gives it a nice place to transition. Put a little bit of that here as well. So this is really strange, this shape here. I think it goes a little bit more straight. Yeah. then the eyebrow kind of wraps around a little bit more. All right, now I think I'm gonna have to like stop um, squinting my eyes and trying to make the shapes simpler and kind of like open them like open them like when I'm not like just looking at it and see if I can't paint my actual eyes now. Get a little bit of the darkest dark in there, which would be the pupil. Just get the position correct, I think is good. So I'm looking right into the mirror, so. And then I got one of my art teachers told me to just use like skin tone for the whites of the eyes to start off with, and then add cooler paint, or then make them whiter as you go. Because you know they're kind of fleshy. There's a lot of bounce light going on in there from the skin, so the white of the eye is getting lit up, and it's really warm. Would you look at that? A little bit of the white of the eye, and everything starts to come along. Glad I'm not having too much trouble with the glare. Sometimes to do like a brush stroke a certain way, get a lot of glare from the light. Now I'm working with a little bit of a smaller brush. Because the details of the eye are a little bit tough to get in the big brush. See, I even made the whites of the eyes way too white. It's like a very subtle thing, you know what I mean? They're not, even though they look white in a lot of like photographs and stuff. When they're in shadow, they do not look that white. Try to see if I can't get some of the green of my iris, it's called, I think. Painting some of that area. A really like delicate area, you know, the eyes. One little move and everything can go wrong. They're kind of in shadow, so I'm not going to be putting a highlight in them. I do much prefer lighting with like the nice highlight there, but it's quite a challenge trying to. It's much easier to paint from a photograph when I'm doing lives because it's hard to get the lighting nice for the camera and for the subject matter I'm painting. Try to open up this eye a little bit more. Getting that red in the corner of the eye. And a little bit more blue-green in the eyebrow. That helped. Yes. It's too much of a like skin color there. Fuck yeah. Something about getting those eyebrow colors like in a good spot that really makes me happy. Fuck yes. These eyes it's possible may need to be done when this dries because I'm picking up a lot of paint and it's making the eyes look a little strange. I'm going to try to fix it, but every time I put down a brush stroke, it brings back up all the paint underneath. And it makes it look like there's like highlights in the eyes when there isn't. What's like one frustrating thing about working on a smooth surface is that I find that happens a lot. Catch that. At a certain point, it probably looks like I'm doing absolutely nothing from like your guys' perspective. Because I'm like not really like that zoomed in on it, and it's just like I'm just like putting down like tiny little marks. But it's interesting because I think that as well, and then I look back on the video and I'm like, oh, I did do stuff. This eye turns down a lot more. Cool. And then we got a little bit darker in the corner of the eye. I find eyes really challenging unless I'm doing like a larger painting. Then the brush strokes are just like so much easier using a large brush. Come on. Having that. I think this is why it's nice to do the shadow areas later on when it dries. All those like areas that keep coming up. Got this nice red tone that I'm mixing here to get some like reflected light underneath here. Keep it rather light in there. Getting a lot of bounce off like this area and coming up into the shadow and filling it a little bit with some light. A little bit of that here too. Well, fuck. Looking sweet. I'm gonna darken the mouth shadow too, because that is awfully bright for what it needs to be at the moment. Let's see, it's kind of hard to get a nice warm dark color. Without that Indian yellow deep. A little bit more alizarin in this mixture because we want the lips to be red, but they also need to be dark. So alizarin's a good color for that. And that really nice dark color there. Just looking back and forth to see what I need to change. And a lot of glare from the light on this here, so try to switch up my brush strokes so they don't go with the light. That's usually how I fix that. So, some of my brush strokes are dictated by whether the lighting, like the lighting conditions as well. Because, you do a brush stroke this way, gets hit by the light, and then it looks very bright when that's not what you're looking for. So I end up going back and, but if I want to get the light catching, then I can, like in a highlight or something, then I can just use that to my advantage. A little bit darker area over here, which is nice. Grabbing some blue. This is like really dark here. Just a couple spots. I don't know what's happening there. It's like a little bit of a thinner beard area or a thicker beard area. Nice. Okay. Introduce a little bit of green in there. This little area over here, I think, needs to come up a little bit more if I do a little line. This can be higher. Which means that the dark needs to be up a little bit higher. Cool. Soften this where the beard meets the face a little bit. It's always real soft there. Unless you got like a nice, unless you got like took a trimmer and just like went on it. Sweet. I kind of want to be the focus to be up here, and I feel like the most contrast is happening down here, which is not what I'm like. I feel like this dark and light. I mean, this is kind of competing with it, but dark and light next to each other is like here. So I'm gonna really tone that back by mixing some green in with it, doing a little bit more yellow ochre in that area instead of the cadmium that I have. I'm gonna need a lot more than that apparently, because there's so much white there already. But I'm just trying to tone down this value to bring it closer to the shirt value, so that when I squint my eyes, my eye doesn't go straight down there. Yeah, go a little bit further. Start adding a little bit more burnt sienna in it. As it comes over here. A little bit more blue too. Sweet. Getting a nice green tone mixed up for this muscle here. And then going a little bit more red with it as it comes out here. All right, cool. So now, yeah, we push that back a little bit. Excellent. Throw a little bit of red back there. Just trying to figure out like what colors are in this painting back here that might look nice in the background area. It's got some nice greens in it. Some of these nice greens just kind of play off nicely with the beard. Constantly thinking about how I can relate other areas of the painting to other areas. I definitely don't want to just like paint a just grab a random blue color or something and just slap it on there without putting it in other areas, if that makes sense. It's got to work together a little bit, you know. I'm gonna take that green color. It's very exciting here, and then I'm gonna put that on the painting in the background right there. Doing kind of what I did with the background, but over here, where we have the light here, you know. And then I'm doing the opposite over here, where I'm darkening where the light is. So light out of there and then pushing it away from the darkness. And sometimes I even push it a little bit further than I think I need to emphasize the effect. Like a nice green color. Fuck yes. Yep. Sometimes you can overdo this, you know, and that looks very strange. I'm borderlining that right now, but I think it looks okay. And then I'll get a little bit of this orangey red color and kind of just like swoosh it down. Add a little bit of interest there. And I'll grab some of this color and put it back here. Keeping it quite warm and green. So lots of yellow. Because this was looking a little bit disconnected from the other part in the back. Now I'm getting kind of like a line here, which I don't want, so I'm going to bring this background color up to the neck. Just keep it separated with the value. And, you know, come in here with a little bit of that neck color because I chopped some of it off, which is kind of like this blue-green color here. And get that neck back in there. And soften that beard. This shadow should be a little bit softer too. It's a little strange right there. A couple of weird areas here that I'm going to smooth out a little bit. Just looking around, seeing what I can adjust. I think the shirt could use a little bit of warming up, I think. Hello, everyone that's joining. I'm waving to all of you. Yeah, I think I want to, you know, I think the blue shirt is a little bit, I don't know, I got a lot of warm tones in the face, the background, painting in the background. This is kind of like a greeny blue background, and then we got like the fucking shirt, which is like blue. So I'm gonna try to mix with some of the colors that I have on the palette, which will help unify it as well. But I'm gonna go with a little bit of more of a blue color that's a little bit warmer. A lot more green in it. It's hard to get a warm blue. Like, what is a warm blue? Like, that's like, because if you put yellow in it, it goes green. And if you put red in it, I guess maybe red would be a warmer blue, like if you had a little bit more red to it. But then it goes purple. So blue's a tricky color. You get like a blue-green color, that would be nice. Which is maybe what I'm trying to go for here. Putting down like a nice warmer black color. Which is, do you use a mirror or a photo of yourself? I'm using a mirror. So I just got it set up over here. Yep. So I'm just using a mirror. I like to do like self-portraits from the mirror. I like to do still lifes from life. I prefer to do everything from life, but you know, I can't get models all the time, you know, and have them sit for hours at a time. And plus they're, you know, they're expensive as well. They gotta get paid too, you know. But whenever I do have models, I much prefer it. Which is why I like paint myself a lot so I can get that practice in. Because you know, you can see a lot better in life. You can see the colors and the, I don't know, it's just really makes a difference. And then, you know, when you realize what those colors are in real life, then it helps when you're working on photographs and stuff too. Now I'm going to mix a lighter blue color. We're going to keep it warm. So it's almost going to be green rather than a blue color. But I'm going to try to put a lot more blue in it so it stays away from green. Let's see, and then paint in some of these folds in the shirt. Yeah, I like that color a lot better. That is working so much better. It's like a green, blue-green color. It's not really blue, but it's also not really green. Oops, pulled off too much paint there. Then I'm gonna You know, I like the warm shadows. So I'm gonna mix some warmer colors into this mixture for these like reflected lights over here in the folds. Yeah, you gotta try it. It's like my favorite way to paint is from life. I feel like you learn a lot from it. Almost every painting I did when I first started painting, I did from life. Whether it was like a still life or I'm not really sure I had like a camera even yet, so I would just paint myself a lot. I would set up still lifes in class, paint those. Um, I would do pictures out of magazines as well, or something like that. Pretty much anything that I could find. But I feel like the painting from real life like really helped inform my early painting. It really helped me develop faster when I first started painting. Because I started like painting before I went to college, like when I was 18. It's the first time I picked up an like oil paint, and then loved it. I did a lot of pastels before that, which were fucking awesome. If you haven't tried pastels, you should try that. They're great. So I did a lot of pastels in the beginning, and then was introduced to like oil paint by my teacher in high school. And I was just like, fuck, man, this shit is ridiculous. And I never looked back. Got really dark here, and then side of the shirt there. Yeah, that's looking more like a shirt, and it's a little bit more, you know, in the realm of colors that I was that I'm painting with, so it's not nicer. Yeah, kind of like the other shirt better. Maybe I'll paint the shirt another time. Or maybe I'll just leave it because this is just kind of like a study and who gives a fuck. Well, I'm gonna bring this up a slight smidge. It's also quite bright back there. It's kind of drawn my eye a little bit, so just tone that down a little bit. Surrounded by dark colors, so we don't really need it to be as bright as it is. It can definitely be darker, all the while still being brighter. Basically, it can just be the same value as we want it to be, with just being lighter. Yeah, that's much better. Now it's a little bit more pushed back, and I'm gonna, soften that edge because it's in the background. Don't want that to stand out too much. Yeah, this thing's fucking coming along, wrapping up nicely. Third day is always a good day. I feel like the third day I get a lot done. I push through uh, you know, that final stage. Some of the colors start getting more accurate. You know, helps that I pre-mixed the colors. That really helps a lot. Um, I'm not sure I would have gotten this far along in this pass without doing that, because you hit like a plateau. I feel like when you're mixing colors on the fly, unless you're like super good at it, which I'm good enough, but like my colors get really muddy after a while, you know. So, as I was saying earlier in the stream, I just started doing the pre-mixing of the colors and been really loving it. Oh, what's going on there? A little bit of green's okay, but awesome. Now I got that nice shape of the head there. A little bit of color surrounding the highlight. It's always a nice idea. Some rich color, darken areas around the highlight. Really makes the highlight come out. That and a good opposite on the color wheel will do that too, which I do a lot. Where if your local color or your general color around the highlight is warm, use a nice cool highlight to get it to sing. Which I've kind of done here. You can't really tell by the camera, but this is kind of like more of like a purpley, purple white. It's very subtle, and then there's like a yellow white behind it, so it really makes it stand out a bit. Yeah, this portrait doesn't have like as much form as I usually do. I don't know. It's kind of like splotchy colors. I don't know if that had a lot to do with the way that I've been working on it two separate ways. Because like when I have the colors pre-mixed, I do a lot more like formal brush strokes because I already have the colors. I just put them down. But when I started this, I did a lot more choppier brush strokes because I was still trying to figure it out and whatnot. Get this highlight in a little bit of a different spot. Sometimes you just like place it on there and then you're in no like certain terms and then you're just like, why did I put that there? And then there's like a darker red tone on the other side where the highlight is right now. And the highlight gets a little nasty and bright. Let's break it up a little bit. And smudge it around. That helps. It's never like just like a dot and leave it sort of scenario unless it like really works. Sometimes that works like really well. Yeah, certainly not the greatest self-portrait I've done in a while. It really depends on the lighting. The lighting wasn't great on this one. get that nice like 3/4 lighting or nice one light overhead lighting. That shit looks real nice. Pull this up a little bit higher. It's like starts like here. Make it a little darker. And we can move all this up a little bit, which I think is going to help. I'll catch a little bit of this eyelid here. Awesome. Yeah, needed that. Needed that for sure. Okay. Carving out the eye to be a little bit bigger. Just kind of making the eye a dark shape, not really like going in there and trying to get that iris figured out or anything until this dries probably, and then go in there because the paint keeps coming up and stuff. So but at least get like a directionality of the eyes, like where what direction they're looking in and such. A little bit of a dark edge here. Yikes. I like put down the first stroke and I was like, that's not dark enough. And then I went almost black with it. So trying to retrace my steps here. All right, getting a little bit of a green over here. Shadow. It's all these like subtle things that I don't see when I'm doing the big block in. this side is much darker than the other side. So I'm just going to tone it back a bit until I get it to the point where it looks the same as what I'm looking at. All right, I'm gonna get up and look at it. Oh, damn. Yeah, it's reading pretty well. I don't have my glasses on, but let me get my glasses on and take a look at it. I feel like paintings always look good with your glasses off. It blurs everything. Yeah, I still like it. Mouth is a little on the crooked side, but that's fine. Yeah, it's a good little study. It's quite different than this one. I think a little bit. This one has a lot more form and stuff, but a little bit more interesting colors. But this one's kind of more lifelike and feels more grounded for some reason. I think it'd be nice to do another layer on this, but I don't know if I'm going to get around to that. Let it dry, do another layer or something, but I think I'm going to call it for tonight. Hope you guys have a good night. Third pass on this self-portrait. Hashtag painting, hashtag art.